Aries Love Compatibility 2026, the complete Aries sign compatibility guide. There is a reason Aries does not fall in love like everyone else. And there is a reason most people are not built to stay with them. In 2026, love for Aries will not be casual. It will not be accidental. It will not be soft. It will be revealing. It will expose who is strong enough to walk beside fire and who only admired it from a distance. Aries is ruled by instinct, by urgency, by a force that does not wait for permission. When they feel something, they feel it completely. When they love with momentum. And when they walk away, they rarely look back. But here is what most compatibility guides never tell you. Aries does not need someone who simply matches their passion. They need someone who can withstand it. In 2026, the emotional climate shifts. Aries will not tolerate hesitation disguised as sensitivity. They will not accept control disguised as devotion. And they certainly will not shrink themselves to make someone else feel secure. This year is about alignment, not chemistry alone, not attraction alone, not obsession. Alignment, because attraction can happen in seconds. Compatibility is revealed over time. You may think you understand Aries. Many believe they do. They see confidence, they see boldness, they see independence. But what they often miss is this: Aries in love is not just intense. Aries in love is testing you. They test your loyalty. They test your honesty. They test whether you can handle truth without drama. And most signs fail not because they are weak, but because they misunderstand what Aries truly needs. Aries does not need control. Aries does not need rescuing. Aries does not need emotional games. They need momentum. They need respect. They need someone who stands tall beside them, not someone who hides in their shadow. So in this complete Aries Love Compatibility Guide for 2026, we are not just ranking zodiac signs. We are decoding who can survive Aries love, who challenges them, who ignites them, who exhausts them, and who actually builds a future with them. Because compatibility is not about fairy tales. It is about energy, psychology, power dynamics, emotional maturity. And if you are an Aries watching this, you already know that when love feels wrong, you feel trapped. But when it feels right, you become unstoppable. So stay with me, because by the end of this guide, you will not only know who is most compatible with Aries in 2026, you will understand why. And that understanding changes everything. Part 1. The psychology of Aries in love. Before we decide who is most compatible with Aries in 2026, we need to confront something most people misunderstand. Aries does not love halfway. They don't ease into emotion. They don't cautiously test the waters. They dive. When Aries feels attraction, it feels like ignition. Immediate, clear, direct. There is no guessing game, no subtle manipulation, no calculated strategy. They move toward what excites them with confidence, and that confidence can intimidate people. Some interpret it as aggression. Some mistake it for impulsiveness. Some assume it means Aries will burn out quickly. But psychologically, that is not what is happening. Aries is not reckless in love. They are honest. They express desire the moment it becomes real. They pursue what they want without pretending indifference. They would rather risk rejection than live in uncertainty. And this is where compatibility begins to separate the strong from the insecure. Because not every sign can handle emotional acceleration. Aries needs momentum in love the way others need reassurance. If a relationship moves too slowly, if it feels stagnant or overly cautious, something inside them begins to grow restless. They don't crave chaos. They crave progress. They want to feel that love is expanding, not shrinking. Evolving, not circling the same conversation again and again. Another truth most compatibility guides ignore is this: Aries needs respect more than affection. You can adore them, you can admire them, you can be devoted. But if you subtly question their independence, challenge their identity, or attempt to control their decisions even in small ways, they will feel it instantly. Aries does not want to dominate a partner. They want to stand beside someone who is strong enough to stand on their own. The right partner for Aries is not the softest. It is the most secure. Someone who is not threatened by intensity. Someone who doesn't confuse confidence with arrogance. Someone who understands that Aries' fire is not meant to be extinguished, it is meant to be matched. Now let's talk about their shadow, because Aries does have one. When they feel misunderstood, they react quickly. When they feel restricted, they pull away. When they feel betrayed, they decide fast. Sometimes too fast. Aries struggles with patience in emotional processing. They want clarity immediately. Resolution immediately, truth immediately. If a partner avoids confrontation, delays communication, or hides behind emotional ambiguity, Aries can interpret that as weakness or disinterest. And tension grows, not because Aries lacks depth, but because they value directness over delay. This is why compatibility in 2026 will not be about surface chemistry. It will be about emotional timing. Can you move when they move? Can you speak when something feels wrong? Can you respect their autonomy without trying to tame it? Because here is the core psychological reality. Aries must feel free to stay. If love begins to feel like obligation, control, or confinement, their spirit tightens. And once that internal tightening begins, the passion slowly shifts into distance. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. And by the time the other person notices it, Aries has already emotionally stepped back. There is only one life lesson here. Life lesson: the wrong love will make you question your fire. The right love will make you proud of it. If you are an Aries watching this, reflect honestly. Have you ever been told you were too intense, too direct, too much? Or were you simply aligned with someone who couldn't move at your pace? Compatibility is not about shrinking yourself into comfort. It is about finding someone whose energy expands with yours. Comment if this resonates with you, because now we are about to move into something deeper: the signs that trigger Aries' shadow side. The connections that start with explosive attraction, but often end in emotional friction. And if you've ever experienced a relationship that felt powerful but unstable, you will recognize it immediately. Let's go deeper. Part 2. The signs that trigger Aries' shadow side. Passion is easy with Aries. Stability is harder. There are certain connections that feel magnetic from the very beginning. The attraction is undeniable. The chemistry is immediate. The emotional charge is intense. But intensity does not always mean compatibility. Some signs don't calm Aries. They activate their shadow. And the shadow of Aries is not weakness. It is impatience. It is pride. It is the refusal to tolerate emotional confusion. Let's imagine something. An Aries meets someone who is emotionally deep but secretive, mysterious, hard to read. At first, this feels thrilling. Aries loves a challenge. They enjoy the chase. They enjoy decoding someone complex. But over time, that mystery becomes distance. When communication turns into silence, when emotion turns into control, when vulnerability turns into power games, Aries becomes reactive. They don't like feeling manipulated. They don't like guessing where they stand. They don't like emotional tests. Aries believes love should be direct. If you care, say it. If you're upset, say it. If you're leaving, say it. But some signs operate differently. They withdraw instead of confront. They analyze instead of act. They protect themselves by creating emotional walls. And to Aries, walls feel like rejection. This is where conflict begins. Not because either person is wrong, but because their emotional languages clash. Aries confronts. The other sign retreats. Aries pushes for clarity. The other sign delays for safety. And tension builds. Now consider a different dynamic. An Aries meets someone equally dominant, strong-willed, independent, unwilling to compromise. At first, it feels electrifying. Two powerful energies colliding. There is respect, there is admiration, there is passion. But if neither learns to soften ego, every disagreement becomes a battle. And Aries does not enjoy battles inside love. They enjoy battles outside of it. In relationships, they want a teammate. When love becomes competition, something shifts. They may fight hard at first. They may try to win arguments. But eventually, constant power struggles exhaust them. Because beneath the fire, Aries wants loyalty. They want to feel chosen, not challenged for dominance every day. There is another pattern that activates their shadow. When a partner moves too slowly emotionally, Aries expresses desire clearly. They are transparent about attraction. But when they sense hesitation, not healthy pacing, but emotional uncertainty, they begin to doubt the connection. And a doubt irritates Aries. They would rather face rejection than ambiguity. So when a partner says, "I need more time," but cannot explain why, Aries may interpret that as disinterest. And their instinct is simple: move forward without you. This is not cruelty. It is self-protection. Aries does not sit in emotional limbo. They either move with you or beyond you. And here is the difficult truth. Sometimes Aries' shadow is triggered not by incompatibility, but by insecurity. If they sense that someone is trying to control them subtly, they push back harder. If they feel judged, they become defensive. If they feel unappreciated, they detach. Their reaction is always stronger than the initial wound. Because Aries does not like feeling small, they would rather walk away than feel diminished. This is why some relationships start with incredible passion and end in emotional explosions. The chemistry was real, but the psychological foundation was unstable. Life lesson: intensity without emotional alignment creates friction, not fulfillment. Just because something feels powerful does not mean it is sustainable. If you are an Aries, ask yourself honestly, do you feel activated in your relationships or supported? Do your arguments feel like growth or like combat? Comment if this resonates with you, because now we shift from tension to possibility. Not every connection triggers the shadow. Some signs challenge Aries in a different way, not through conflict, but through growth. And those relationships are far more powerful than simple passion. Let's explore them next. Part 3. The signs that challenge Aries to grow. Not every difficult relationship is wrong. Some are developmental. There are certain signs that do not ignite Aries' shadow, but they do test their patience. They stretch their emotional muscles. They slow them down, not to control them, but to refine them. And refinement is uncomfortable for Aries, because Aries is used to speed. They trust instinct. They act quickly. They speak directly. They solve problems by confronting them head-on. But growth does not always respond to force. Some partners move carefully. They analyze before reacting. They observe before committing. They take emotional steps slowly, not because they are unsure, but because they are intentional. To Aries, this can feel frustrating at first. Why hesitate? Why overthink? Why not just decide? But over time, something subtle begins to happen. Aries learns to pause, not to suppress their fire, but to aim it. There are signs that teach Aries emotional discipline without demanding submission. They do not try to dominate Aries. They do not retreat into silence. Instead, they stand steady. When Aries reacts impulsively, they respond calmly. When Aries pushes for answers, they offer perspective. When Aries grows impatient, they introduce stability. At first, Aries may resist this, because stability feels unfamiliar. But eventually, they recognize something important. Not every powerful relationship is loud. Some are quiet and enduring. These signs challenge Aries in a way that is not explosive, but constructive. They do not match intensity with intensity. They balance it. And balance is not weakness. Balance is mastery. In these relationships, arguments become conversations instead of battles. Disagreements turn into learning moments instead of ultimatums. Aries begins to understand that strength is not always about speed. Sometimes strength is restraint. Sometimes strength is listening fully before reacting. Sometimes strength is choosing long-term alignment over short-term victory. And this is where emotional maturity enters. Because Aries, at their highest level, is not reckless. They are visionary. They want a future worth fighting for. The signs that challenge Aries to grow are not always the ones that excite them immediately. They may not feel like fireworks in the beginning, but they feel solid, reliable, grounded. These are the relationships where Aries learns patience without losing passion, where they learn that leadership in love is not about control, it is about responsibility. And here is the deeper psychological shift in 2026. Aries will be less impressed by drama and more attracted to depth, less interested in power struggles and more drawn to partnership. They are evolving, and so must the person beside them. Life lesson. Growth in love often feels uncomfortable at first, but discomfort that strengthens you is different from discomfort that drains you. If you are an Aries, reflect on your past relationships. Were you constantly activated or were you elevated? Did you feel challenged in a way that sharpened you or challenged in a way that exhausted you? Comment if this resonates with you, because now we are entering a different category. We are moving into the signs that do more than challenge Aries. They ignite them. They awaken their passion without destabilizing their foundation. And this is where compatibility starts to feel powerful. Let's go there. Part 4. The signs that ignite Aries' passion. There is a difference between a relationship that feels safe and one that feels alive. Aries does not thrive in emotional monotony. They need stimulation, not chaos stimulation. There are certain signs that don't just balance Aries, they electrify them. From the first conversation, there is rhythm. Banter flows effortlessly. Ideas bounce back and forth. Attraction feels natural, not forced. Aries doesn't have to chase endlessly, the energy moves in both directions. This is important. Aries loves pursuit, yes, but they also love reciprocity. When someone matches their enthusiasm, mirrors their courage, and responds to their boldness with boldness of their own, something powerful happens. The fire doesn't burn out, it multiplies. These connections feel exciting without being unstable. There is movement, but not confusion. Passion, but not emotional warfare. In these relationships, Aries feels seen, not just admired, understood. The partner doesn't try to soften Aries. They don't try to control the intensity. Instead, they engage with it. They participate in it. Conversations are fast, decisions are bold, adventures are shared. And this is where Aries feels most alive. Because passion for Aries is not just physical, it is intellectual, it is emotional, it is energetic. They need someone who can keep up. But here is the critical distinction. Some relationships ignite Aries temporarily, others ignite them sustainably. Temporary ignition feels explosive, fast, overwhelming, addictive, but it can burn too bright too quickly. Sustainable ignition feels strong but steady. There is excitement, but there is also mutual respect. There is intensity, but also emotional maturity. In these pairings, Aries doesn't feel like they are dragging someone forward. They feel accompanied, and that changes everything. Because when Aries feels accompanied instead of responsible for all the momentum, they relax. They don't have to carry the emotional weight alone. They don't have to initiate every spark. They don't have to be the only source of energy. The relationship becomes a shared fire, and that shared fire is powerful. But even in these passionate connections, there is a test. Can both individuals maintain independence while staying emotionally close? Aries will never sacrifice identity for romance. The right partner understands that closeness does not require control. They give space without creating distance. They encourage ambition instead of competing with it. They celebrate Aries' victories without feeling diminished by them. This is where passion becomes partnership. And in 2026, Aries will gravitate toward relationships that feel expansive, not restrictive. They will choose connections that fuel their growth instead of draining their focus. Because Aries is not looking for someone to slow them down. They are looking for someone to accelerate with them. Life lesson. Passion alone is not compatibility, but passion aligned with mutual respect creates unstoppable momentum. If you are an Aries watching this, think carefully. Does your current or past relationship feel exciting but unstable, or exciting and supportive? Do you feel energized after conflict or depleted? Comment if this resonates with you, because now we move into what most of you have been waiting for. The 3 signs in 2026 most capable of walking beside Aries, not behind them, not ahead of them, but beside them. And this is where compatibility shifts from possibility to probability. Let's go deeper. Part 5. The 3 most compatible signs with Aries in 2026. Compatibility with Aries is not about softness. It is about strength that does not compete. In 2026, 3 signs rise above the rest, not because they are perfect, but because they understand the rhythm of Aries energy. Let's begin with the 3rd strongest match. There is a sign that mirrors Aries' love for expansion. Adventure feels natural between them. Conversations don't drag, they spark. They challenge each other intellectually, but without ego. This connection feels alive. Both value independence. Both dislike emotional suffocation. Both understand that love does not require ownership. With this pairing, Aries does not feel restricted. They feel encouraged. The chemistry is dynamic, the energy playful, the future open. Disagreements don't last long because neither partner enjoys dwelling in negativity. They move forward quickly. But what makes this pairing powerful in 2026 is shared optimism. When Aries doubts themselves, this partner reignites belief. When this partner loses direction, Aries pushes momentum. They grow together because neither fears growth. Now let's move to the 2nd strongest compatibility. This is where intensity meets intensity, but without destruction. This pairing feels magnetic. The attraction is undeniable. There is passion, pride, and mutual admiration. Both individuals are strong personalities, but instead of competing, they recognize the power of unity. In this dynamic, Aries feels respected, not tolerated, not controlled, respected. And respect is everything. They motivate each other. They take risks together. They dream big and push each other toward achievement. There is fire here, but it is directed fire. The key difference in 2026. Ego softens into partnership. Instead of battling for dominance, they channel ambition outward. They become a visible power couple, not because they seek attention, but because their energy is undeniable. Now we arrive at the strongest compatibility. This is the sign most capable of walking beside Aries long-term. Why? Because this connection is built on movement and mental stimulation. Aries needs a partner who can keep up not just physically, but mentally. Someone adaptable, curious, quick thinking. With this sign, Aries never feels bored. Conversations evolve. Ideas multiply, plans change, and both adjust effortlessly. There is freedom inside commitment. That is rare. This partner does not cling. They do not suffocate. They allow Aries to lead without losing themselves. And Aries, in return, becomes fiercely protective and deeply loyal. The magic of this pairing in 2026 is adaptability. When life shifts, they shift together. When conflict arises, they talk it through instead of escalating it. When ambition grows, they support rather than compete. This is not just passion. This is alignment. And alignment is why this sign holds the highest probability for long-term success with Aries this year. But let's be clear, compatibility does not remove effort. Even the strongest pairings require maturity. Even the most powerful chemistry requires communication. The difference is this. With the right match, Aries does not feel like they are fighting for balance. They feel supported by it. Life lesson. The strongest relationship is not the one with the most fire. It is the one where both fires burn in the same direction. If you are an Aries watching this, ask yourself honestly, do you feel aligned with your partner's ambition and rhythm, or are you constantly adjusting to survive the relationship? Comment if this resonates with you, because compatibility is only part of the equation. Now we must talk about something deeper. Marriage potential, long-term stability, emotional sustainability. Because passion is powerful, but can it last? Let's explore that next. Part 6. Marriage potential and long-term compatibility with Aries. Passion can start a relationship, but it cannot sustain one. Aries is often misunderstood as someone who only thrives in excitement, someone who loses interest quickly, someone who fears commitment. That is not accurate. Aries does not fear commitment. They fear stagnation. There is a difference. When Aries commits, they commit with certainty. They do not enter long-term relationships casually. They do not propose lightly. They do not promise forever unless they believe in it. But once they sense emotional restriction, loss of admiration, or repeated misunderstandings, their certainty dissolves. Long-term compatibility with Aries depends on 3 invisible foundations. First, emotional clarity. Aries cannot live in confusion for long. If communication becomes passive-aggressive, ilant or layered with hidden meanings, frustration grows. In marriage, clarity becomes survival. Second, mutual ambition. Aries does not want to feel like they are evolving alone. If one partner is expanding while the other resists, growth imbalance begins. In 2026, especially, Aries is entering a cycle of forward movement. They will not slow down their vision for comfort. And third, respect that deepens over time. Attraction may begin the relationship, but admiration sustains it. If Aries continues to respect their partner's intelligence, strength, and individuality, loyalty becomes natural. If respect fades, attraction fades with it. Now let's talk honestly. Aries can struggle in long-term relationships if they do not feel challenged, if life becomes repetitive, if passion turns mechanical, if conversations become predictable. They need evolution inside stability. This is why the right long-term partner for Aries is someone who understands that commitment is not about control. It is about conscious choice every day. Aries wants to wake up next to someone who chooses them, not someone who feels obligated to stay. When they feel chosen, not trapped, something powerful happens. Their protectiveness increases, their devotion strengthens, their leadership softens into care. Aries in a healthy long-term relationship is not domineering. They are fiercely loyal. But here's the part many people overlook. Aries must also mature. They must learn that stability is not boredom, that repetition is not stagnation, that calm is not lack of passion. Long-term love requires emotional regulation, not emotional intensity every day. In 2026, Aries has an opportunity to redefine what compatibility truly means. Not who excites me the most, not who challenges me the hardest, but who grows with me the longest. Because marriage potential with Aries depends less on astrology and more on alignment. The signs with the highest probability for long-term success are the ones who match ambition, respect independence, communicate directly, maintain individuality inside unity. And when those conditions are present, Aries becomes unstoppable in love. Not impulsive, not reactive, but powerful and committed. Life lesson. Lasting love is not built on constant intensity. It is built on mutual evolution. If you are an Aries, ask yourself something deeply personal. Are you chasing adrenaline in love, or are you building legacy? Comment if this resonates with you, because now we close this guide not with rankings, but with clarity. And what you're about to hear might be the most important truth of all. Let's bring this full circle. Closing, final reflection. Compatibility is not about finding someone who matches your energy perfectly. It is about finding someone whose energy aligns with your direction. Aries does not need to be softened. Aries does not need to be controlled. Aries does not need to be fixed. They need to be understood. In 2026, love for Aries will not reward emotional games. It will not reward power struggles. It will not reward insecurity disguised as devotion. It will reward alignment. The signs that thrive with Aries are not the ones who chase their fire. They are the ones who can stand inside it without losing themselves. And if you are an Aries watching this, here is the truth that matters most. You are not too intense. You are not too direct. You are not too much. You are simply built for forward motion. The right person will not slow you down out of fear. They will move with you out of confidence. And if you are someone who loves an Aries, understand this clearly. They are not testing you to dominate you. They are testing whether you are strong enough to stay. Because when Aries feels safe, respected, and emotionally aligned, their loyalty is unshakable. Their passion becomes protective. Their independence becomes partnership. And their fire becomes something that warms instead of burns. Compatibility in 2026 is not about who excites you the fastest. It is about who expands with you the furthest. Astrology reveals potential, but maturity determines outcome. If this guide gave you clarity, if it helped you understand yourself or your Aries partner more deeply, comment your sign below and tell me what resonated most with you. I read everyone, and if you want deeper, more psychologically accurate insights into Aries love compatibility and the evolving energy of 2026, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because this channel is not about surface astrology, it's about understanding the patterns behind your relationships so you can choose better love, stronger, and grow wiser. Aries never chooses halfway, and neither should you. I'll see you in the next one.